Welcome to the Just Because Diaries, where real life meets random chats and plenty of mom moments, all while reclaiming joy in the seemingly mundane. I'm Celeste, a mom, but also a whole-ass person, navigating the balance of motherhood while rediscovering the joy in doing things just for myself. From the chaos of parenting to the little moments that make life fun, nothing is off limits. So grab a cup of coffee or something stronger, and let's get into it. Today, we're talking awkward mom interactions, emotional damage caused by the last day of kindergarten, and the Instagram personality type that made me feel deeply, deeply seen. And later, a just because moment where I'm sharing the simple landlining trick that has helped me seriously cut back on doom scrolling. It has been a really busy couple of weeks in our household, and honestly, I should have known things were headed very much downhill the moment that I started oversharing at a volunteer appreciation lunch. Apparently, there's this thing called an autrovert, which is basically someone who can be super outgoing and social, but only when they feel comfortable. Like for me, in the right environment, I will talk to literally anyone. But if you put me in a room where I feel even slightly uncertain, suddenly I become the most awkward human to ever grace the planet. So the school put on a little volunteer lunch for the parents who had helped in the classroom this year, and I got to go to that. I was really excited, and I thought it would be really nice because I would get to chat with Miles' teacher and the other parent volunteers. But instead, I left there feeling awkward as fuck and questioning why I am the way that I am. Like, why do I say things sometimes? I don't have to say things all the time, but I have this thing where if someone says something and no one responds to them, I feel the need to fill the gap so that they don't feel awkward. Even though 9 times out of 10, whatever comes out of my mouth makes me look crazy. And I know that I do this, and I'm aware of when I am doing this, but I cannot stop it. So when one of the moms showed up wearing a really cute lounge set, she looked really cute, but she said, "Oh my gosh, you guys all look so nice," and I didn't get dressed up. No one else said anything. So I filled the space with, "Oh, well, I only dressed up a little because I showered today." "Oh, okay, Celeste, like, why did that just come out of your mouth?" "I don't know." And I also said this in front of Miles' teacher, who now probably thinks that I'm just this gross person who never showers. So that's fantastic. Also, I have an arch nemesis mom. She's really nice, or she seemed really nice in the beginning, but then one time at a kid's birthday party, I tried talking to her and another mom because we were literally the only 3 parents there so far, and the 2 moms just like slowly iced me out. Like they literally just slowly started turning their backs on me. So from that day forward, she became my arch nemesis. Why is this woman the first person to arrive for the lunch? So it's just the 2 of us at a table. So I say hi, she says hi, and then I say conversationally, "Wow, this is so nice that they put this on for the parents." And then she mentions that she didn't come last year, and for some reason, I respond with, "Oh, yeah, I know. I felt a little bit awkward about coming to this too. Like, I'm really grateful, but it just feels weird to like get attention for helping, I guess." And I just kept going. Like, my ramble wouldn't stop. And what is my arch nemesis doing this entire time? She's staring at me. Like, not smiling, not nodding, just staring straight into my soul. And I am aware of this, but I still could not stop talking. And it was so awkward and so uncomfortable. I was mortified the entire time. But there were a couple of good moments in the experience. One of the other moms knew that my in-laws had been in town, and so she had asked me about what they thought about Colorado. So that was really nice to be able to answer that like a normal human being. So naturally, after this deeply humbling social experience, Instagram decided to diagnose me the very next day with autrovert. And honestly, I have never felt more seen in my entire life. I think I literally sent that post to everyone I know. My only saving grace out of this entire situation was that school was about to be over, like in a week or 2. Little did I know that I would be PMSing on the last day of school and that I would be a total and complete sobbing mess. On the last day of school, Miles went off in the morning and I was fine. I was fine all day that day. And then I went to go pick him up. The moment I pulled into the parking lot, I teared up. So I decided to send my friend a voice note to distract myself. And I literally just ended up crying about all of the most stupid shit to her in the voice note. So I'm so sorry, Julia. But I parked my car and I was telling her whatever I was telling her. And I noticed how all of the kids were playing outside, which isn't what normally happens at that time of day. And then I began to think out loud to her in the voice note about why they were playing outside. And it dawned on me that they were getting to have one last recess before summer. And I immediately started crying. My kid wasn't even out there, by the way. This was literally just kids playing, and I was sobbing. Next, I see some parents walking with bubble wands to pick up their kids, and I start crying again because that's genius. And why didn't I bring a freaking bubble wand to pick up my kid? Like, that's such a good idea. And then, just because I obviously hate myself, for some reason, I start telling my friend about how Miles's elementary school just started this new tradition where graduating seniors can come back to the elementary school and they get to wear their caps and gowns and they just get to walk the halls like a little parade for all of the little kids. And the day they did it, Miles came home and he talked about it and he said he couldn't wait to do it when he got to 12th grade, and I lost it all over again. Because suddenly now my kid wasn't just done with kindergarten, he was full-blown graduated and walking the halls as a grown-ass kid in my mind. So now that's crying in my car 3 times within the span of maybe 5 minutes for anyone who's keeping track. I did eventually compose myself and I decided that maybe I just needed a snack. So I had a beef stick. Well, mid beef stick, I start to hear really loud music and I was like, what is that? And why is it so loud? So I crack my window down. It is the fucking graduation anthem and the school is blasting it over the PA system. I sob. I uncontrollably sob. Ugly sob in the middle of the school parking lot. Except now I have to actually leave my car to go get Miles, which means that I have to walk outside in public with this song blaring to go get him from kindergarten for the last time. The amount of self-control I had in this moment was very impressive to me, honestly. I just kept thinking to myself, you can't let all these parents see you cry. You will be known as the crazy crying lady forever. Do not do this to yourself. Do not do this to your children. And also, I really didn't want my arch nemesis to see me cry either. You know, lest she think I am even weirder than I already am. And do you know what? I was somewhat fine on the walk up to his classroom. And then people would have the absolute audacity to say, like, hi, or have a great summer. And my voice would break trying to respond to them because I was holding all of my emotion in my throat. And the second I tried to say anything, naturally, the sobs tried to escape. But then the bell rang and all the kids start running out of their classrooms and Miles's classroom door opened and all the little kids start hugging their teacher on the way out. And I nearly broke, but I kept it together. And then Miles walks out with a little crown that he made in class that says last day of kindergarten. And let's just say I was very grateful for the very, very large sunglasses that I had on because that was what did it. That's what took me out ultimately. It really caught me off guard how emotional I was about his last day of kindergarten. I think something his teacher said to me at one point in the year about how kindergarten is really still very much fun and play-based and first grade is more like actual school really stuck with me. So it felt like the end of a really big chapter. And like maybe if I wasn't PMSy, it wouldn't have been quite as bad. I still would have cried because I know myself, major weeper that I am, but holy cow, I was a mess. And the worst part about all of this was that I didn't really get a full cry at any point in this whole pickup experience. I did get a few good sobs in there when the graduation song came on, but like not a whole cry, you know? Like you need a full cry sometimes. So I had to go about the rest of my day teetering on the line of totally normal, and any little thing will set me off and I will become a weepy mess. But then that night, I decided to watch the season finale of Shrinking. Now, that show will make me cry on a good day. But on this particular last day of school day, I was a mess. But it was exactly what I needed, and I let loose. David was watching it with me, and he was just like, Celeste, this isn't that sad. And I was like, this isn't about shrinking, David. Miles is graduating high school. So it was a bit over the top, but I finally got my full cry that I needed. Speaking of things I have learned from Instagram lately, this past week I started implementing something called landlining, where you basically treat your phone like a landline phone and you leave it in one spot in your house instead of carrying it around with you all day. This was super appealing to me because I have been thinking for a while now that I need a slight intervention when it comes to using my cell phone. And I know that there are companies who make things that help. One is called Brick, and I have heard amazing things about them, but I just couldn't pull the trigger on spending a decent amount of money on something like that. So when I saw this landline method, I was really sold on it right away. And I still did have to buy a little holder for my phone, but it was only like $2, so it wasn't the biggest deal in the world. I did take it a step farther than just housing my phone somewhere, and I moved all of my social media apps into their own folder because previously each app had its own spot on my home screen. And then I created a profile on my iPhone that runs from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. that will silence notifications from only my social media accounts during that time frame. So I can still get text messages and emails and like whatever else. Before I did all this, I had a screen time setting for my social media apps, but I found that it just didn't do a ton for me. Like, it was way too easy for me to just ignore it completely. But this little method that I have created for myself has been a really big game changer so far. The first thing I've noticed is it's nice to not have my phone with me every second of every day. What a concept. It made me aware of how often that I actually reach for it. And knowing where it is and being able to just tap it to see if I have any texts was more than enough for me. Apparently, I don't actually need 24/7 unrestricted access to TikTok while walking from room to room in my own house. But then when I had downtime and I felt like, I wanted to scroll social media a bit, it felt like a challenge not to do it. And then what's even better is that the apps don't show any notifications in their little icons either. Like, how it'll put a little number above the social media icon to represent your notifications. So then it was kind of like, oh, no one cares about me anyway. There's no reason to go into the apps and check. To give you an idea of how much this has helped me, I am averaging like an hour during the day on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok combined. 1 hour. Most days before I started landlining, I was spending 1 hour in just one of those apps. So it's crazy how much it's helped already. There is still an adjustment period though, because my settings turn off at 8 p.m., which means suddenly all my social media notifications come flooding back in at night. So I have found myself getting sucked into social media again in the evenings, and I'm having to force myself to read something or to crochet or just do something with my hands that isn't doom scrolling. So there is still more work to be done, but so far it has been really helpful and I'm really happy about it. So anyway, I thought I would share this little nugget in case it may be helpful to any of you who may be struggling with the same thing. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Just Because Diaries. I love reading your emails, so shoot me a message anytime about anything at all to thejustbecauseddiaries@gmail.com. Also, give me a follow on Instagram at @JustBecauseDiaries. And finally, it would mean the world to me if you could please take a few seconds to rate and review my podcast by hitting that 5-star button and leaving me a little love note in the review section. And please share this episode with a friend who you think might enjoy being part of this budding community. Thank you so much again for listening. I so appreciate you being here, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.